So it's definitely a modern take on this source material. What attracted you to this particular approach to the material?
Well, lots of things really. It excited me the idea of having a more immediate feel to it. The things that the girls were going through, and well, all the characters were going through, but kind of there are so many kind of topics that are very relevant in it, but also I think yeah, you just really wanted to care for the characters, didn't want to feel too much distance with the period, didn't want it to feel too restricted. But I think at the core of it, it's really about them growing up from childhood into adulthood and that whole journey and that transition from there and that whole messiness of it. So it's kind of more, we wanted to really focus on that whole messiness of life and love and trying to discover your identity, which is quite a journey. And so I think especially as they're children, it's both exciting and daunting, and um, what their future might hold, or what their choices might be, or who they want to be, or who they want to fall in love with, or who they want to marry, who they want to have sex with, if they want to have sex. Um, yeah, so I think, I think there were some good references like Jules et Jim, which Emily particularly loved, and I think she thought that was very physical.
Yeah.
And so we quite like that idea of sort of the feral nature of the girls. I was particularly inspired because I had a childhood friendship from when I was 3 till about 11 when I moved away from the area. But that kind of feral nature, and the you get up to all sorts of mischief. And I think wanted to really have that because they always have that in their past, Emily and Lily and Fanny. And then it's only when they become older that they kind of trying to figure out what their femininity means and how that changes them on the society that they're in and the choices that they feel they do or don't have. And so how they get shaped as they go along, and the choices that.
Of course, Emily Mortimer was the director here. What was it like
Yes.
to work with her? And what is there a moment that you'll remember working with her as a director?
All of the moments, I mean, she always makes me laugh. There's always such a good atmosphere around her. She's very naturally very humorous. She's very funny, and she's very honest, which is quite perfect, really, for Nancy, because obviously Nancy Mitford is a very candid character and talks very openly about how she feels about motherhood or being a woman, really. And um, so I think Emily was really perfect for that. So there was always just constantly an open discourse about that, and just always talking about things and trying to bring it as alive as possible and relatable as possible, and the joys and the sexy things and the humiliations and the everything really, and the secrets or the things that you're ashamed of, and just all these things, trying to kind of help that kind of inform or help us, and hopefully people watching it may hopefully get some of that or relate to some of that. I mean, you never really know, but it was fun to do and to talk about, and especially with Emily. I mean, she's perfect and really good with. I think she has a natural interest in friendship.
Finally, I really enjoyed the relation interchange between you and Lily James and
Okay.
the chemistry that you guys had. Talk about working with her and what will you remember most, or a moment that you'll remember most about working with her on this production.
Well, Lily's very naturally brave and daring. I mean, for instance, she's an incredible horse rider, and she probably rides a horse much like Linda does. Just she's very she has a naturally quite a vivacious kind of free spirit, really, that Linda has. So it made it very easy, really. I mean, it's easy to see how Fanny would fall in love with her and also want to live sort of vicariously through her, because Linda obviously has a very exciting life. I think Linda is a roller coaster. And I did have a lot of admiration for how kind of Lily would just go for it 120%. I mean, it was most likely, and it was exhausting. Um, but maybe when she said she's like at the lead of the hunt, She's like, she's right at the front of the hunt, and she is an incredible horse rider, and it's just sort of this being in that fake hunt. I'd just like to add the fake hunt. It was very intense and loud, and she's just really brave. I think Lily's very brave. She just kind of gets on with it. She just does it.